Hello, you're watching Avenue X, and today let's talk about the still on air and I cannot wait to recommend it to you drama 不良执念清除师. Oh no, here comes trouble. This is a 12-episode short drama that's produced by iQIYI International, fully shot and produced in Taiwan. It went live on April the 15th on iq.com. It is directed and written by Lin Guanhui, led by Zeng Jinhua, Peng Jianyou, Song Yunhua. Based on the 2/3 of this drama I've watched, I will already give it a 3 gold line rating. This is a contemporary setting drama with quite a lot of Chinese traditional culture, mystery, supernatural power mixed in type of story. We start the story with our main character played by Zeng Jinhua, a high schooler who performs academically at the absolute bottom of his high school. Coming from a family that has a long lineage of calligraphy writing, he encounters a very catastrophic accident at the beginning of the drama. After 2 years of coma, he comes about and realized he seems to have some unusual power now. So he goes on this unwilling adventure of encounter all types of supernatural beings, and along the way he will team up with 2 people. One of them is a just as bad at performance as he is policewoman, and his high school classmate, who was the polar opposite of him, being the best students that school has ever seen. Since I really almost have no complaint about this drama, a couple of really forced points on the not so ideal side of this drama. The first point, within the 3 main characters trio that leads this drama, I do think the female policeman comes in a little bit weaker than the other 2, both on paper, also with the actress's performance. The second tiny point, very personal opinion, the lead actor Zeng Jinhua, he does a really good job of acting in this drama, and I'll say a lot of good things about it later. But there's one tiny thing he does that tends to pull me out of the story when he does the very emotional ugly cry. I think it could be worked on even more. And it's a very subtle thing, but at least to me, whenever he does those very emotional ugly cry, I start to get out of the story a little bit. Kind of like Chen Xinxu, when he cries really truly emotionally, I believe 100% it comes from the actor's real emotion, but his facial expression will start to look a bit funny. That's just like really high level requirement in the world of drama making and acting that usually we don't even get to talk about that. If you look at most of the Chinese dramas, like the actors don't even get to that place where it needs to be discussed. So that's just the over scrutinizing part of Avenue X trying to do something. Now let's get to the good part, why this drama is making me feel so good. First point is the overall production quality of this drama, contemporary drama, very solid. And one thing I particularly like about, I think, all dramas produced in Taiwan is they don't use dubbing. It's such a virtue, and I think a basic requirement for proper drama production everywhere in the world. But somehow, most of the Chinese dramas these days, they just use dubbing. I don't know why, but they do it. Contemporary periods, it's just all a mess. And I'm so highly appreciative of the fact that this drama is all original voice. And they even, I think, 99.99% is all live recording. So the in-moment performance and voice really helped me get into the story. Then the other parts of the production, such as cinematography, editing, color, all that is just very good. There's no skin smoothing, there's no beautifying. I highly appreciate that too. The CG, because it involves a lot of supernatural elements, sometimes you can still tell it's not the best CG that can be done these days, 2023, 22. But in the department of computer-generated graphics, you can always improve if you want to, and there's no limit of how far you can go. So in my opinion, for the narrative purpose of this drama, the CG is enough. Then the second point that I want to point out about the story that I highly appreciate is it's so funny. When you hear me talk about it involves supernatural, power, mystery, and it does involve quite a bit rather gruesome imagery and blood and stuff. You may think it's gonna be a very depressing, scary horror drama. It does have those elements, but it very cleverly cancels it out with a huge amount of comedy, and not in a cheap or forced way. It very well integrates into the type of characters that those roles are, that they've been set up. So the lines that comes out of their mouth when they say that and makes you laugh comes very naturally. It is genuine from that character in that moment. It doesn't feel like the writer dictates the roles to say these things to make it funny, and it's constant in this drama. Almost every other beat is a funny one. If you're worried about this drama maybe too depressing and too scary, don't. You're gonna laugh your brain out pretty much throughout the whole thing. And I think this is one essential, very important reason why that I can continue watching this drama and actually rewatch it when I know it has quite a lot of tear-jerking and very sad plot in it. Still, I don't feel depressed, unlike certain other dramas. The third great thing about this drama is for sure actors, the casting. So perfect for the roles on the script. I think the script, if I haven't heard wrong, is actually an award-winning script in the competition. And once it gets actually produced into drama, they just picked the perfect people to do the roles. Here, I'll just quickly talk about 3 main roles and their actors. First, I want to mention the actress who plays our leading role's mother, Yang Jinghua. If you've watched dramas from Taiwan from a long time ago, you know who she is. And I'm a little bit surprised now. It's like, what? She's already playing a mom? She was a lot of people's goddess, okay, earlier days in idol drama land. And she's so beautiful in this drama. And this role on paper is such a beautiful mother of contemporary time, and her moments in the drama with her son are some of the best ones in this drama, and Yang Jinghua delivers such a good performance. Then we definitely have to talk about the 2 male leads. Zheng Jinghua playing our lead role Pu Yiyong, and Peng Qianyou playing another lead role Cao Guangyan. I know you're gonna go to the BL land immediately, and in a way I think this drama definitely plays on the expectation because it's 21st century 2023. We all know BL is a hot thing. Every drama making country in Asia is doing that. This drama is not really BL. It's not the core of the story. It's just something that happens along the storyline and it tags along and it's not being emphasized. And at least by episode 8, it's not that type of relationship. It's more of a weird friendship that started with a lot of enmity. They somehow become a team and also neighbors. Okay, and ended up sleeping in the same bed. And the drama actually teased about the whole BL thing within the drama itself. So it's a really clever way of playing that expectation. You do see the chemistry between these 2 roles. That thing, you cannot force it. It just happens or it doesn't. With these 2 leads, it makes this drama that much more highly anticipated. Every time you are waiting for the next episode, you want to see if there's new development between their relationship. But then the story, its actual core, is not riding and relying on BL. In terms of individually for these 2 actors, it's also really, really well done. For the first episode, the thing that glued me to my chair and forced me to watch through it is the leading actor's performance. The plot that is very captivating and you really want to know what happens to him, but also his performance that really touches you. And once the hook is in work, then the rest of the story happens and you realize, wow, the narrative has just so much interesting and worth watching thing beyond the simple point that it's led by a really attractive young actor who also does a really good job. So for Zheng Jinghua, I'm just so happy that I discovered this actor previously. I'm pretty much unaware of his existence. Now it's like in the future, everything he does, I'm gonna watch it. Oh, for sure. Young People, 1997. Unbelievable. And then for the actor Peng Qianyou, this very manga-like, super intelligent, AI level good student who can do full score of everything and who is loved by everybody, including a butterfly. He also brings that to life in a way that doesn't make you feel it's unreal. Both actors do very cartoon manga-like role and make you believe they can be real people. And what else can I say? Good performance in young actors, very talented and great casting choices. Had it not been these people leading this drama, it would not be the same drama at all. And it's our great luck and enjoyment to have this happening in our timeline. Then we have to come to the most important part of the story, which is the story itself. The characters who are used to express those ideas and the plot that carries those ideas. This drama's Chinese title, 不良执念清除师, literally means unhealthy, obsession, clean away master. So it is the masters who have the ability to clean away unhealthy obsessions. And in the story, you'll come across many unit story roles, and they're very sad, tragic, all types of personal story, and what causes different types of obsession and how they materialize. Simply because thoughts have power and it actually creates things that normal people cannot see, but our male lead can. And it will touch on many different types of topics, such as bullying, work environment bullying, loneliness, and loss of very close kins, and how it affects people psychologically, and how one tiny unintended thing one person does can change another person's life forever. It will have many very well written tiny stories that are sometimes depressing, sometimes tear-jerking, sometimes emotionally so destructive. But thanks to the comedy of the story, it actually is very palatable to watch. So I'm dressed up today as one of the roles in one of the obsession stories that so far I believe is the most tear-jerking one for most of the audiences. At least when I watched this story, I cried like an emoji. So 2 hours of hard work dressing up. 可是它很美啊. So if you have to say what is the greatest and most valuable thing about this drama, underneath its supernatural story, its almost crime investigation element, and hinting at BL but not really it, and comedy underneath all that, skills and techniques and strategies of telling the story. What is really the golden part? The golden part is looking at all types of human obsession and human suffering, and it highly resonates, I think, with a lot of people in contemporary society. And it looks upon those conditions with a lot of kindness, warmth, a very resolute belief that these are all things that needs to be seen and needs to be discussed and needs to be dealt with, when in reality a lot of that never gets dealt with. Then I highly appreciate that with all these things present, they use calligraphy, Chinese characters, as the carrier of how you perform such ceremony almost to release those obsessions and those created beings and give them peace and give them freedom. I know it looks a lot like quite a few Japanese anime, manga that has used a very similar concept before, but I think this drama has its own take on it, and it's been done very beautifully, and highly appreciate that the lead actor actually went to learn brush calligraphy for a month to actually do it mostly himself. And there's also a very interesting thing that you rarely see presented in drama, which is traditionally in Chinese culture not really being mentioned or emphasized much today. The actual characters is sacred. If a piece of paper has Chinese character written on it, no matter what the content is, if you're just practicing calligraphy or you're writing a poem or anything, it needs to be treated with respect. It cannot be discarded, throw away, do whatever with it. The best thing to do with used papers that you no longer have used is to burn them so that they don't get dirtied and soiled or treated badly in the future. And this is actually a really important thing traditionally in Chinese culture. But these days people don't really look at it that way anymore. And I'm so happy that it actually gets represented in this drama, because in the drama you'll see the pieces of paper that contains those characters actually have great power. Since I'm already talking about characters and energies and calligraphy, the 3 leading characters in this drama, their name actually have really interesting connections. Our male lead role, Pu Yiyong, Pu is a not so common surname, and there's a famous historical Chinese author called Pu Songling who lived in Qing Dynasty, famous for writing ghost stories. The most famous Chinese writer in the history of Chinese novel writing of ghost stories. So the fox demon stories that you see a lot these days in Chinese dramaland actually comes quite a lot from his works. This surname may be hinting at the family lineage of our male lead comes from that line, and they have this connection with supernatural beings, non-physical beings. Then his name is Yi Yong. Yong means forever in Chinese. It is also the character in Chinese that's being used to teach calligraphy, as the beginners have to learn character, because it contains every stroke in every Chinese characters. The dots horizontal, the vertical, the hook. Although it's a very simple character, it actually contains all elements of every Chinese character. Therefore, it's a character that you have to practice when you first start learning calligraphy. So the male lead actor represents calligraphy, characters, and you can also say he probably represents the brush that you need to use to write a character. Then the other male lead role, Cao Guang Yan. Yan is Yan Tai. Yan Tai is the grinding stone that you use the ink stick to grind on to create the thick ink in the most authentic and traditional way. Then the female role, the policewoman, the middle character of her name, Chen Chuying, means paper. So another way of saying that they're destined to come together. And Bi Mo Zhi Yan, brush, ink stick, paper, and the grinding stone are the 4 treasures of a Chinese scholar's study. So that's one extra cultural stuff. If you're not aware, well, now you know. So these are all the great things about this drama. I can go on and on about other details that I really appreciate, but then this video is gonna get too long. I hope these things I've talked about are reasons enough to convince you to check out this drama. And I'm so happy that I discovered this, and I'm grateful to everybody who has recommended this drama to me. There are people on Weibo, there are also people on Discord, also during my live stream that you've mentioned this drama. Thank you for letting me know. It would be such a shame if I missed it. One final thing I want to add on that is really funny, just with my own watching experience, is the moment I see this male lead actor showing up, I'm like, who do you look like? Because you look like somebody, and I can't figure it out. And it took me about 3 episodes to finally figure out what is bothering my brain, which is he looks like multiple actors I know and who are very famous mixed together. It's just to my brain. It may look very different to other people. From certain angles and when he does certain expressions, he looks very much like Yang Yang. And then from certain angles, definitely Wang Yibo. And I can also see Song Weilong, depending on the angles and expressions he's doing. Because of all those elements mixing, it took me 3-4 episodes to actually separate all the 3 faces out, and I'm just, finally I see what are the other person that I feel he looks like but can't quite put my finger on. What an interesting face! Here I just share with you my honest opinion, which is for the actor Zheng Jinghua and his acting ability is more than added together. Okay. Hope that doesn't get me murdered, but hey, you know, I have said enough offensive things on my channel to enough people's fandoms. So, what do I care? 狮子多了不怕痒. That would be the end of my recommendation, and halfway, a little bit more than halfway review of the drama. Oh no, here comes trouble. 不良执念清除师. If you've already enjoyed this drama, let me know what you feel about it in the comment section. And then if you haven't, what are you waiting for? Thank you for watching Avenue X. I'll see you in my next video. Meanwhile, live long and happy drama watching.